whatever stipend we used to get, use it to build the prototypes.
By 22-23 jump to 1.34 CR. How that growth take place?
घर से पैसे नहीं ले सकते because after engineering if you are not taking your college placement and आप बोलोगे नहीं मुझे startup करना है, थोड़ा difficult for parents to also understand and cope up with that fact.
आज के इस पॉडकास्ट में हमने जाना है कि कैसे इन फाउंडर्स ने कॉलेज के बाद अपने डोमेन में इंटर्नशिप कर कर वहां से फंड्स जनरेट कर कर कैसे अपने प्रोडक्ट में लगाए और आज इनका प्रोडक्ट आईआईटी, आईआईएम जैसे बहुत बड़े इंस्टीट्यूट्स में जा रहा है। आई होप आप आज के एपिसोड को अपने आप से रिलेट करो एंड डू सब्सक्राइब द चैनल। Welcome Akshita ma'am, we are very amazed by your presence over Shark Tank Season 3 India.
Thank you so much Aarav.
So ma'am, initially I want to discuss with you like when you were trying to create the Kibo software, तो आपने initially कितना cash burn वगैरह करा and what about your first customers जिसको आपने sale करा?
Sure. I think interestingly enough जब हम Kibo की शुरुआत कर रहे थे या Trestle Labs की शुरुआत कर रहे थे, our main focus was कि किस तरह से हम कम से कम expenses के ऊपर Kibo को build कर सके. So initially, like as soon as my engineering got over, like I studied computer science and I graduated in 2016. And 2017 में just after college, me and my co-founder we both started Trestle Labs Kibo. And उस time पर ये था कि घर से पैसे नहीं ले सकते because after engineering if you are not taking your college placement and आप बोल रहे हो कि नहीं मुझे startup करना है, तो it gets थोड़ा difficult for parents to also understand and cope up with that fact. And उस time पर if you ask for funds कि नहीं मुझे engineering हो गई, job नहीं करनी but extra पैसे चाहिए to build something, वो थोड़ा मुश्किल हो सकता है. So that was something that we also decided कि किस तरह से हम घर से पैसे ना लेते हुए if we can build something up. So interestingly enough, I studied from Faridabad, Haryana, and my co-founder Bonny, he studied from Nirma University, mechanical engineering from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Both of us didn't know each other, but we had the common passion that we need to build this. We need to do some technology intervention for the visually impaired community. And that made us both apply to this interesting place called Digital Impact Square, जो नासिक में है. It's a TCS Foundation Social Innovation Center, जहाँ पे like every year वो 40 to 50 socially motivated individuals को cherry pick करते हैं all across India, and they groom them to solve social challenges using technology and become social entrepreneurs like over a 12 to 18 months journey. So वहाँ पे like that, and they have an interesting concept that we enroll in as interns, and there we get some sort of stipend जिससे हम अपने living expense के साथ साथ अपनी prototyping का जो expense है उसको भी हम cater कर पाएं. So that's how we both started. We met there in January 2017, and वहाँ पे से इस journey की शुरुआत हुई. And whatever stipend we used to get, उसमें से कुछ हम living expense के लिए use करते थे और बाकी जो बचता था we used to use it to build the prototypes. And almost after 1 year, finally on January 4th, 2018, एक साल बाद, we were able to launch the first MVP of our product, which that was also for a pilot testing for the next 6 months. Or the response was so good कि just after those 6 months we got 12 orders all the way from Nasik Municipal Corporation से लेके IIM Ahmedabad was our first B2B customer. तो वहाँ से we saw कि okay, whatever little we have built, उससे we are able to bring in some cash into the company basically, and somebody is ready to pay. वो एक assurance मिलना कि हमने जो बनाया है वो किसी के लिए value adding है. So that was there, and almost from August 2018 to November 2018, we sold the first 12 units. We made some 3 to 4 lakhs out of it, and we were like, we can't burn it all up. We have to save it so that we can build our team, hire interns, and that was also probably the end of our support from Digital Impact Square, which ended in like July 2018, and then we were all on our own. So उस time पे था कि again that situation that you have money but you want to save it so that you can grow your team. You can't take money from home. So almost like me and my co-founder Bonny, we were on our savings for the next 8 months, whatever little we had saved from our Digital Impact Square internship. And वो जो savings थी that saved us or helped us in the next 8 months, तब तक while we were building or designing for manufacturing of the entire, मतलब taking that version from an MVP to a final version of the product. So 8 months बाद things changed because those 8 months were designed for manufacturing, finding the right vendors for building the whole thing in terms of manufacturing. So yeah, those 8 months were tricky, but we have made sure at least we don't take money from our family or our parents, and see how, if we can generate cash while we are building something. So for us, those 12 units that we sold initially was our first cash in the bank. So, and that kept looping into the business. So when we finally launched the first version of the product in July 2019, since then, like within 9 months, we were out of stock for our first 100 units. So that gave us more cash in the bank that we kept investing in the business to keep it growing. So I think that's something that we have been doing so far. Overall, if we say like in terms of the stipend that we used to get, we would have roughly invested around 17 lakhs or so into the building process. And after that, it was just self-refueling that happened.
That's really nice. Like after your college, you had collected all of the money from that internship. You spend over that product. And ma'am, when you first sold to IIMs, and what was the reaction of your family initially?
Right. So I think initially, of course, it gets, for parents to see, okay, you have built something. So we almost used to have though we didn't have investors at that time, we had our parents who were making sure we meet our milestones. So we used to give them timelines. Like, okay, after 6 months, we would have built this prototype. After 6 months, we would have sold the first, 12 units or 10 units. And that really kept us going. So for parents also, when we used to go back home, we used to take some videos, some prototypes, or some orders that we could show. Okay, now this is what has grown so far. And then we used to ask for an extended timeline. Okay, let us do this for 6 more months, and if this doesn't work out in terms of financial independence, probably we'll look at something that you want us to do, which is more financially stable. So I think that question answer or that milestones between us and our parents, of course, kept happening. But then today, when they look back at all of that, they just feel that it was worth it. And yeah, now all of the things are gone.
Ma'am, very nice. Ma'am, initially when you sold your first product to IIMs, so what was the process of reaching down to IIMs?
Sure. For us, interestingly enough, while we were incubated at Digital Impact Square, which was a TCS Foundation initiative, TCS was actually revamping the whole IIM Ahmedabad library. And that's when they had pitched how this solution can actually become a part of IIM Ahmedabad library, making their institution inclusive for students with disabilities and also students with multilingual needs. So that's how the first introduction was through TCS. And then the next rest of them were like most of them were like, you have to go and visit people multiple times. So interestingly enough, the second one or the major one, like the 7 units got sold to YCMOU, which is Yeshwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University. And जो वहाँ के vice chancellor थे, he had a very broad open mind to accept innovations and see how technology can bring social change. So he told us कि if this product that you're building, so initially when we were building this, it could only read printed English, and he said if this can read Marathi, because our students have their books in Marathi and there is no reader that could do that, if you can do this, तो हम आपके like first customer बनेंगे, we'll pay you for the 6 months pilot. Also he paid us, so we'll pay you for your pilot, we'll buy your first 7 units, we'll set it up in all our study centers in the university itself. And that was really reassuring. So I think finding your first customer can be hard. It was for us. In fact, the first government order that we got from Nasik Municipal Corporation, that involved a lot of, you have to go demonstrate it to the deputy commissioner, then IT head, and all those people who play an important role in the decision making. And uske baad somehow you crack it. So I think government orders are fairly difficult to get, but once you have it, it acts like a very big testimonial to the work that you're doing.
Yeah, to showcase, na, exactly. Ma'am, if we talk about your product, the OCR technology which Peyush had also discussed. So, what was the process of developing that technology?
Right. I think thankfully enough, we have always had good people, like-minded people in our team who are really talented in terms of their tech skill set. Like almost like we have been lucky enough to have really good team members, almost like prodigies, who have helped us, take Kibo to as the technology suit to where it is, like being AI powered, patented technology. So some of those critical algorithms, because when we started out in 2017, we tried out all that was available in the market to see where we can add value. Or then we realized there were some gaps in terms of speed, accuracy for regional language, even handwritten content recognition. So wahan pe we thought, there's no point reinventing the whole wheel. Like if we were to build an entire OCR engine on our own, that would probably take much more time, and maybe we'll still be stuck at the same accuracy. So what can we do differently? And that's when we did incremental innovation, which basically means let's see what's available in the market. Can we build a layer, like a tech suite? So we built our own proprietary algorithms that form a layer in the pre-processing, post-processing of the whole process, so that we are able to deliver an accuracy that's higher than what existing market could offer. And that's where we found our unique, USP or unique selling point, that how can we cater to this already existing market, but with a much higher accuracy and much higher speed. So that gave us that confidence in building this and taking this to the world.
Ma'am, you were discussing about your yearly revenue over Shark Tank. So, I had remembered you told about the FY 21-22 is gonna around 36 lakh. Then, ma'am, instantly FY 22-23 jumped to 1.34 CR. How that growth take place?
For us, I think multiple things changed. So during COVID, of course, we were not able to grow as much as we had expected because of our major customers fall in the education sector, like schools, colleges, universities, and everything went online. So it was very difficult for us to, almost survive. So we were able to do same, growth. We were not able to grow much in the COVID years. But COVID actually gave us time to do something really cool. So for us, we took that COVID year to build what was needed for the new normal per se. So we built our tech suite, which was called Kibo Desk, which could take care of soft copy documents, which was the need of the moment. Because earlier we were just focusing on hard copy physical documents that the scanner could scan. And then we realized during COVID, all the documents went digital, and most of them ended up being scanned PDFs, which of course a visually impaired could not access with a screen reader. But at the same time, those documents were non-searchable. So imagine like a professor scanning 100 pages of handwritten notes and them being non-searchable. So for me to just go to maybe read about midday meal scheme, I have to flip through like 50 pages. So I think that was something that brought in the broader perspective of what more can we do. So we spent COVID year building Kibo Desk. Then especially last year in 2023, we had launched Kibo 360, which is our new addition to the suite, which was also shown in the Shark Tank episode. So I think three major reasons of that instant growth, or in a span of 1 year, there were three reasons. First was we added new tech products in the suite. So it was like more revenue streams, basically. The second thing that we did differently was we partnered with a lot of international distributors. So just last year, we signed up partnerships with 10 distributors who are giving us access to 30 countries. So including US, UK, Brazil. We have distributed in the Middle East, doing 6 countries, then Africa 16, as well as Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand. So I think all of those, in fact, just today as I speak, we are packing our next batch for the shipment to Thailand. So I think international shipments grew really fast. The third thing that we did differently was we started partnering with state governments to get large scale deployments. So just last year, we through rural development and Panchayati Raj department, we did a pilot with them, and after that we received the letter of approval to implement our technology in 2000 rural public libraries. So that basically means it's not just catering to the vision impairment as a challenge, but also addressing the language and literacy gap in those rural communities. So I think all of those three things that we did differently helped us scale further in the last year, and hopefully this year as well we are expecting the similar sort of growth in the revenue numbers, also through the way all these partnerships that we did last year are expanding now. So yeah.
As you mentioned about the foreign distributors, ma'am, there's one thing which I often face during my startup or any sort of thing. Like, I would know that through research and development, I can get to know like these are the opportunities to which I can distribute and expand. The issue which came there is like the reaching process. There are some basic processes which I often apply, like mailing them, reaching them throughout their social media, or finding some of the referrals through them. मैम what are the nourished process जिसके थ्रू like हम genuinely उनको reach कर सकते हैं?
Sure. So I'll just share how we did this. So for us, again, we did like the research for all the international distributors online. We prepared like a whole lot of database with their email IDs and details that we can reach them with. And then we started with the outreach process. Of course, I think one thing that's really important is your product needs to be really good and suited for the international market for distributors to respond to your emails. So thankfully for us, we almost had a success rate of 7% out of all the emails that we had sent. And like, that's good enough if you are sending emails to like 350 people and you have that kind of success rate. So it's like those are the people who responded. Then of course you get on a video call, you demonstrate the product to them, you see if there is a match of a synergy. Like as partners, it cannot just be a transactional relationship. So do you really have that connection of taking the business forward in the international market? So I think that connection was really important. And then you end up finding your sweet top 10 who really are in your mission and really are interested in taking your product to the next level in their own respective countries, of course. So that worked for us. And of course, then once you find distributor number one, he would have connections in other geographies, and then there is a cross referral. So he would know that, okay, I am selling it in A geography, but I have a friend in B, and then you should connect. So I think that word of mouth, if your product is really good, you get one click through, and then it just spreads, like it has a cascading effect. So it just like a chain reaction, it spreads. So we don't need like a lot of partners, but we need the good ones, like even if they're in small quantity, because they will really put an effort to take our product to the next level.
Ma'am, can you please discuss about your subscription model? As Anupam told us about that 99,000 model, it's like how you can grab repeatable customers from that. So ma'am, that point was valid or not?
Sure. So for us, right now we have like 4 products overall. Of course, like different products for different market segments. So we have, for the B2C segment, we have a mobile application, which is like 89 a month and 979 a year, wherein we know that this is like an autopilot thing. Like you have an app on Play Store, somebody likes it, and then they spread the word of mouth. So it just works on an autopilot marketing. Then the second thing that we have is a SaaS platform, which is Kibo Desk, which we were not able to really talk about on the Shark Tank platform. So Kibo Desk is again a SaaS platform, which is a recurring subscription that our users automatically subscribe to. So that's of course that B2C segment, though it just forms 10% of our business right now. The major focus is on the B2B side. So when you talk about one-time thing, especially when we do work with government sector, they are looking for more of a one-time payment than a recurring subscription, because sometimes in government projects the budget would only come once, and then they just want to have something that they can use like forever. So with can we build so when we were working out with the rural development department, government of Karnataka, for the project, that was when we started thinking of all these things. And we thought, can we have a stripped version of the product which we can provide to them, which they can set up in all rural public libraries and use it like forever, at a price which is suitable for us, like profitable for us, and at the same time they don't have to pay a recurring. So we built that product specifically more suited for people who want to go for a one-time payment. And then of course there is Kibo 360, which is our latest addition to the suite. We launched it last year in May, and that is what is our recurring businesses bringing in. So earlier even we had annual subscriptions attached. Then we saw how people recharge, they forget about it, or how do you want to continue that whole process. So now with Kibo 360 we are taking that level up, because 360 is like people who really want to are for example universities, colleges, or even schools who want to provide multilingual education to their students, or जिन्हें अपने students के लिए disabled students के लिए inclusion के लिए कुछ products जो है setup करने हैं, center setup करना है, तो उनके लिए 360 is an ideal product. So that's where the market is expanding and moving into recurring, जिसमें like it has a yearly license and then you have to renew it every year. So I think there was like of course in a short span of time you're not able to explain everything, but then we really thought through of which product is suitable for which market and which customer segments, and let's give them what they want. That's how we have been doing. But 360 is a recurring 360 Kibo Desk and Kibo mobile application are recurring revenue products, and Kibo Access of course is a one-time payment, but then we have larger volumes for that, so it just balances everything out. For us, I mean, we started out very young. So for us, right out of college, you have you don't have a lot of resources. You just want to do something that can create an impact in the society, and you start working on that mission. So of course, on that journey, of course, we have built some amazing piece of technology that has multiple use cases, and we do acknowledge that. And for us, like and of course, as a startup, as a bootstrapped startup, you don't have a lot of funds to spread yourself too thin. That I want to enter into, for example, BPO industry, or do an RPA, or build smart glasses. Like, of course, you want to do all of that, but being a bootstrapped venture, it gets slightly tricky. And of course, for us, when we started out with a mission and we were like focused on building that mission into a a reality. So I think that was something that we had been doing so far. Of course, last year say our things are our revenue numbers, our thought process has changed like a lot, wherein we also acknowledge कि क्या use case हो सकते हैं. जैसे industry में we have of course OCR as a technology has multiple use cases, whether you talk about legal record digitization, or medical record digitization, or even like educational content digitization. So OCR as a technology in itself has a lot of use cases. Then when we look at translations, of course, regional language translations with high accuracy, are the need of every market probably. So I think, of course, we understand that the tech that we have has a lot of use cases. But being a bootstrapped venture, we don't have a lot of bandwidth to spread ourselves too thin in all places, and hence we were also looking for the right guidance, network, and of course the perspective that can help us shape it into a bigger mission than what it was when we started out. So of course when we started out, we were focused on a mission, but since last year we have acknowledged that there is more use to this, and now we are tapping on to other opportunities and multiple spaces. So just last year we were when we had been to Malaysia for an event, we had spoken to a couple of people who are in the medical record digitization space per se. तो जैसे उनके केस में अभी तक medical record digitize karna by law, you have to do this, but then how do you digitize it in a way which is searchable, ताकि blood test की report के लिए nobody has to flip through 50 pages. You can just type blood test and it just takes you to page number 61. So I think all of those use cases are something that we are now tapping into, and it was also the right time for us to be there. And when the sharks also said it, it was so reassuring and reinforcing कि हाँ मतलब हम सही डायरेक्शन में ही सोच रहे हैं. हमने डेफिनेटली अपने मिशन के साथ शुरू किया है और उसको तो हम नहीं छोड़ेंगे. लाइक वील कंटिन्यू वर्किंग ऑन दैट. बट हम एकदम लाइक ब्लाइंडली बाकी पैरेलल अपॉर्चुनिटीज को निग्लेक्ट नहीं कर सकते, बिकॉज they can also, it's also in a way, you know, supporting someone's work or making someone's work easy. So we are all open to doing that while making sure we stay true to the core of the mission that we started with. But of course we are open to partnerships, or we are like actively doing that. And Shark Tank has even made it, you know, more profound, because when everybody heard of it, now instead of us reaching out for those opportunities are coming to us. You know, we heard about this and this is really cool, we need this for our use case. And then yeah, now it's the things have completely changed. So
Okay, so your company is growing in the case of marketing also, na? Ma'am, when Peyush and Ronnie gave you offer, so you came up with a counter offer, and that was too far from their expectation. So what were your perspective over that particular counter offer?
sure. So I think for us, we did understand the value that I think all three of them brought in, because I think Aman was also had offered us and at that time. So we understood the value that all three of them could bring in, and we just wanted all three of them to you know, be there with us in this journey going forward. And hence we had come up with something that we felt was, you know, as per the calculations that we had done with DCF and all the projections that we have right now with the, you know, orders in the pipeline. Of course, there was something that we were not able to explain at that time, because, you know, that the time is limited. But then there was so much more, like the orders in the pipeline that we will, you know, that will give us the next year's revenue or the next 3 years revenue. And the projections that we had done, we had like went true to them, and hence we had proposed a valuation that was suiting as per those you know, numbers. So of course I think for them also, they were looking at a much bigger market. And for us, like our mere expectation was how you know, our valuation should not be equal to our current year's revenues, like which we'll be hitting in the next 2 months. So that was like little you know, beyond our expectation, something that we didn't really you know, expect. So we were just hoping that they could, you know, have that like we should have been able to build a mutual understanding on that part, that you know, the revenue is bound to grow, and we have been growing for the last 6 years so far, and hence the revenue numbers are bound to hit. And probably the valuation could have been you know, in line with that thing, rather than, you know, just equating it to our current year's revenue. So that was little disturbing. But then of course you know, that opportunity of working with those you know, people or legends in the space who can take this to the, you know, next level with us. So we thought it should be fine.
Lastly, ma'am, what are your plans to pursue with this investment?
Yeah, so of course, if this investment, I think since, you know, that, you know, we have been bootstrapped for the last 6 years, we were actually waiting for strategic partnerships or strategic alliance to happen before we can you know, start working in those directions. So for us, this has come in the right time, and also it's the you know, the most I would say amazing strategic partnership that has come in place, because, you know, Ronnie brings in everything around education, and then Peyush brings in everything around eye care, and I think that's a perfect you know, combination to take us to the next level. So more than the investment, of course, the investment will be leveraging around enhancing our technology, and, you know, in different directions for different use cases. And then of course we'll be growing our team, building the right partnerships for scale up. So that's how we'll be using the investment. But what has come in with the investment is their strategic you know, guidance or partnership and advice. That's something that we are really banking on. So I think it was a great you know, opportunity and a great mix that we were able to get through this opportunity.
Thank you, Akshita ma'am, for your presence. We really got amazing insights from you.
Thank you so much, Aarav, for making me a part of this. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am.